Hi, my name is Chris Allen, and this is the Internet Use Violation presentation. What I know about this case is that Ms. Walker is a second-year teacher that holds high expectations for her students. Dr. Forbes, the principal, has asked Mrs. Walker to implement new strategies into her classes, and she has not done that to this point. Someone has posted a website with threatening messages, and they had sent an email to direct Miss Walker to those messages, and she took those as very threatening. And Miss Walker identified Randy Franks as a person of interest in this case. What I need to know: who sent the email, whether it may be a student, a group of students, even a teacher, a parent, could be anybody. We can't jump to any conclusions at this point. Who is responsible for the website? It could be somebody else that is responsible for the website, and there's a student that just sent an email saying you need to look at this, whatever it may be. We need to know where the email and the website originated from, whether it was created at someone's home or at the school, because those two scenarios could be handled differently. And we need to know the school policy for cyberbullying and threatening statements. The problem is twofold. The safety of a staff member has been threatened by an unknown source through email and on a website, and also that staff member has failed to build positive relationships with students to enhance the learning in her classroom. Plan and action: first thing would be to contact the local authorities to make them aware of the situation. Take it very seriously. Even if it may be just a prank, it must be dealt with as a serious situation. I would speak with Miss Walker at the earliest convenience in my office the next day and assure that everything is being done to solve the issue and to find out who was the culprit of this action. Also, investigating the email and website using the technology director's intelligence to find where these came from and if they're created on the school property or at somebody's home. And I would question students in a way that would not accuse the students of this being them, so that they feel more apt to give information about the case if they know it. I would make the staff aware of the situation, which isn't always done, but I think if you make the staff aware, if they hear something about the case, then they are able to respond and give that information to the administration, whereas if they didn't know anything about the case, they would simply just go about their business or just speculate that it's rumor. Plan of action continued is to improve the learning environment in Mrs. Walker's classroom, to give her more strategies that she can use and ask her to implement those, and also increasing the administrative presence in the classrooms. How to implement the plan: I would call the police department and arrange times for police officers to be present at the school. I think it would be good the following day after receiving the phone call from Miss Walker to have police at the school if they are not already in the school normally. I know some schools have SRO officers, but have them present at the school. Just a presence at the school will deter anything from happening if it was going to happen. Develop the plan for improvement for Miss Walker's classroom strategies that would support positive rapport with her students, which would increase learning. To make the staff aware of the situation, I would send out an email or have a short faculty meeting in order to make everyone aware of the situation. To increase the administrative presence around the school and especially in Miss Walker's classroom, I'd increase the number of classroom walkthroughs making sure to check in on Miss Walker frequently, and also possibly adding adult staff members to her classroom, whether it be a para, another teacher, an administrator, just someone else in the classroom with her. Another way to implement the plan is to question students. I would start with Randy Frank, since Miss Walker gave me that name, although I would definitely not want to accuse him just on the statement from Mrs. Walker. I would question the students without accusing them, and just find out what they know, if they know anything, and if they have any other names that they could give me, so we could question students further. Resolving the issues. To resolve the issues, I'd support Mrs. Walker's training to improve her classroom experience, to increase the learning in her classroom. I'd encourage responsible use of the internet to all students and staff, and to get that message out, you could use social media. You could either write an article in the newspaper yourself as an administrator, or ask the staff to investigate and write articles in the newspaper about the use of internet. And it'd be a good idea to send out newsletters. Put a little blurb in the newsletter that goes out to parents normally every month, and just make them aware of the situation. I'd promote to all teachers the importance of building positive relationships with students. It's hard for students to respect a teacher and to learn from that teacher if there is no positive relationship between the two. The facts of the case is that Miss Walker has not implemented the strategies that the principal has suggested. A student or students or even another teacher has used the internet inappropriately, and positive relationships are not being built between some staff members and students. What I was thinking first is, I must take this threat seriously. It could be a prank, could be a joke, but you always have to take the safety of the students and the staff as the most important issue, and you have to make sure you take it seriously. I would want Mrs. Walker to know this, that I'm taking it seriously, and that I am supportive of finding a solution to this issue. There is an underlying reason why a student or students would take the time to create a website for this threatening message. So the classroom environment needs to be fixed in Miss Walker's classroom. Some unresolved issues is the creator of the website has not been identified, and the origin of the messages have not been determined. Miss Walker's teaching strategies changes, whether or not she has changed or not, and her ability to build positive relationships with the students. In order to align with the ISLIC standard number 5, staying consistent to the belief that safety becomes before all things, and by not jumping to conclusions about Randy Franks based on pure speculation of what Mrs. Walker gave as information to Dr. Forbes, by using questioning techniques that do not accuse a student of wrongdoing, holding staff and students accountable for their actions consistently. To be fair, I respected Mrs. Walker's concern for her safety. I took it very seriously. I made plans to ensure the safety of all students and staff equally by contacting the local authorities and making plans for them to be present at the school the next day. I was fair to the students by not jumping to conclusions in regards to who created the website. Code of Ethics, I took the proper steps to investigate the matter before jumping to conclusions. I would document everything in this matter so that there's no confusion, and I would share this information with the proper authorities. And I would work with Mrs. Walker to improve her teaching techniques.